hello.
Hey, what's up?
You are here then, he didn't forget.
Of course not. Put it into Outlook after all, so like Sauron's eye watching over me, saying at 5 p.m. today you have to do it. You have to go through it.
Hello, welcome. I wanted to talk to you because obviously Kingdom Come 2 has now come out. It's finally released.
Who would have thought, right?
You can't deny it any longer.
The most public secret in the world.
And yeah.
Originally, the idea was that KCD 2 will be the first game plus 25% in everything, and put much more focus into bug fixing and performance issues and whatnot. And that obviously didn't work out at all, because at the end, I think we are KCD 1 times 2, more or less. Pretty much in everything. There's more characters, there's more quests, there's more maps, the story is deeper, it's funnier, it's grimmer, it's darker, it's more serious, it's more refined, the writing is better, everything is just double the size in a way. But this is like it's like a philosophical thing, right? So it's like we didn't measure it like that, but differently. The plan of having KCD 1 plus 25% didn't work out at all, which led to the fact that it took us again, what was it, like 6 years from 2019. So we expected to be faster, way faster, but then everything got out of control, especially the designers, the narrative designers who started to write a dialogue option for everything. You punch a cow, there's a dialogue for it. You throw the dude into the anthill, there's a dialogue for it. You are drunk and have to like come up with that. You hear that someone shot a gun next to your ear and you don't hear him well, there's a dialogue for it. So we had to scratch quite a lot at the end, but I think generally what is important and what's the underline and the thing is that this is the game I believe that we always wanted to make. So this is like the vision from 2014 and before. This is the culmination of it, and all the things that could have been in the game and that were scratched and whatnot, all those things led to the situation that we have a game that is running smoothly or relatively smoothly, or much better than the first game, and just is a better experience than KCD ever was. Nothing bad about the first game, but just KCD 2 is just better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say that after obviously playing it for as many hours now, it has kind of blown away Kingdom Come 1 to the point where I don't want to go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 anymore, which is mad.
Many people say that, but I have this. That's like a general. I mean, you do play, or you did play quite a lot of older games on your channel, which I like the videos, by the way. You should do this more often. But I have this issue, for instance, I couldn't play Gothic 2 anymore. Gothic 2 is one of the games I really loved as a kid, and I had for me, it was extremely, the atmosphere was breathtaking. It was immersive. So it's a game made in Germany, and the German writing especially is really good and really lifelike and whatnot. So for me, this was the pinnacle of video gaming back in the days. But now I would never ever go back to it anymore, because I am afraid that I destroy something that I loved, and in my imagination it plays way better than it probably does. Or GTA Vice City, amazing game, but I think I keep it as it is, and here in my mind it will be one of the best GTAs ever because of the atmosphere and everything.
I get what you mean. It is hard sometimes to go back to those games because we have those rose-tinted goggles, right? Of that nostalgia, and then you go back to it and it's this is this is not as good as I remember. Yeah, this is terrible. Look,
cute?
Hang on, look at it.
Partner look. Aww.
I had to wear it. I always wear my hoodie I got from the August thing we went to. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great hoodie.
It is a great.
Are you wearing it with pride?
I am. I wear it and I just walk around town just like pointing it towards people, being like, "Look at the back!
And you're
Look at the back!"
saying, hey, you sexy biscuits, and everyone's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I just walk if I see a group of nerds, I just walk up to them. I'm like, "Hey, sexy biscuits," and they're just like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm not as big as I thought."
Yeah.
That's just very
See you
disappointing.
next time.
Yeah.
That's me. Bye, guys. I'm out.
The next step after release, obviously, we've talked about this on the channel. You're going to be doing updates, which is what I want to talk about next. Do we have an exact date for patch 1.2?
Yes, I think, let me check. I think it's next week, Thursday from today. So the 13th is the date where we are planning to. So today is Thursday, the day where we are recording this. So in a week, we will release it. The patch will be super hefty. It contains what, like 5 months of work, and that is something that is uncomprehendable sometimes for people. So let me explain that. Why 5 months of work? This sounds like we left something out or something. That's not the case. The point is that at some point we had to be extremely strict with what goes into the game. So when you develop a game or any software, pretty much you have this branches. Pretty much you have the main branch where that's the current thing, and then you're branching out sometimes and create those special versions of the game for events, or stabilize something and say, okay, this branch, that's it, that's the one that goes out, and the rest continues, and we will fix this one, but this one is stabilized and we will not touch this anymore because it works as of right now. So at some point we had to decide and be extremely strict in like what goes into the game, what tiny fix, what thing, whatever, because potentially every single thing that we add can break something somewhere. So that's always the case. You change the size of the chicken, and then at the end you find out that something, right? Stupid example, but you know what I'm trying to get to. And the other thing is that because of that, every single change needs to go through very strict QA as well. So you change something in the beginning, something seemingly uninteresting, this guy will have more money or will be higher or taller or stronger or whatever, and you need to make sure that in all the quest lines and everything where he appears, or everything that is somehow connected to it, even if it's not connected directly, seemingly, you have to check the full game and check if these things are running. And now that we have a huge ass game, you can imagine that every of those things must be very well considered if we are putting it into the branch and if into the game. So what I'm trying to say is that when we were finishing up for release and we were planning for an October-November release, that was the idea last time, and then we hold it back, first of all because we had so much voiceovers and we just didn't manage to put them all in the game or we weren't 100% confident to make sure that all the other languages other than English will appear on the day of release, which is bad. And we said, okay, we don't want that. So February would be the next possible. Plus, we wanted to give more attention to bug fixing, optimizations, and so on. As a matter of fact, the 60 frames per second on console only happened because we moved the game to February. This wouldn't have happened if we released in October, November, because we had this like breakthrough eureka moment in the programming department, and that led to the fact that we have. And by the way, these optimizations on those consoles, even for the Xbox Series S, those optimization are benefiting all the other platforms as well, all the PlayStations and PCs, because we come up with something clever on the weaker platform and console. This means if we implement it in the others, then this might make it run faster, whatever. So that's why we had to hold back a lot of fixes and a lot of stuff, a lot of let's make it better here and there, because we said, hey, we have to find a branch, a state of the game, and that one must run absolutely a-okay and perfect, because that's the one that goes to press, that's the one that will be printed on CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever. This one is the one that is being day one on release, and then we will check out what the people say. And a month after, we will roll out the first huge patch unless there's something super hot that needs to be immediately fixed, some hot fix, whatever. We had a tiny patch with some crashes, but other than that, there's nothing major that needs immediate attention. So we said, hey, we roll it out. We will connect the free LC, how we call it, to it, the barber mode and the modding as well. And yeah, now we have, I think, 34 or 36 pages of patch notes, over 1,000 bugs fixed.
Oh,
And this
Toby,
all rolls out on Thursday. And yeah.
you know what obviously I do my patch note videos.
Yep.
So thanks for
Yep.
that.
Yep.
That's good. That's going to be fun.
Content.
Yeah, many hours of content.
You know, it's why it's 34 pages, because there's two reasons for it. First of all, we want to show the people that we really do care, that we are not a studio that releases a game and then says goodbye and now we do something new. So this is something that you can be sure of that Warhorse will never do. So we will always take care of our sheep, and then until we feel like, okay, that's it. At some point we had to do this with KCD1. It hurts, but at some point we just have to say, okay, won't count that we won't give it more maintenance. So we want to show that we will give it love and attention and whatnot.
I mean, KCD1, you guys gave a lot of attention to. Like KCD1, you had updates for that coming out, what, 2 years, I think was the last one.
Yeah, because we kind of had to, because the state was kind of janky. But this time around, it's better. So that's why we can luckily take a month before we do this big bug fix. And the second part is the patch notes are so big because we wanted to make sure that they're well structured, and that if you have a bug so you will see, and maybe this changes, but as of right now, we have all the quests lined up and which fix went into which quest. So if you have a particular quest, that you can try to find that quest in the list and say, see, they patched that. My problem, kind of.
No, that's really good. And I will say the support email, the KCD support email has been great. I've used it a couple of times. I've sent people to it that have had questions, and it is really useful. And also, I just love how on the ball the support team is. So that is.
I think it's also important to note there that we have our own people there sitting there. So yes, we have support from PlayOn, so they have a professional customer support team, but we also have our own QA work sitting there and reading those mails, getting those mails directly. So it's not that some AI computer is getting your email saying thank you for your mail, but it's just like really it appears at someone's inbox, and then it will be dealt with. But we have to prioritize, of course. Not every bug is really a bug, or at least not as severe as you as a player might think. So what we are doing right now in this or what we did this month, and we created a Teams chat that is called Community Grievances, which I like a lot. So we were collecting feedback from streamers, content creators, fans, communities, reviews, Steam reviews, and so on. And of course, the obvious bugs are, that is something that needs to be fixed, but also kind of nice to have feedback things were collected. And right now we are internally putting a list together with as of right now, it has 10 points, and we are trying to think about it, like how much benefit will a fix of that or a change. And this is bigger things where programmers and so on need to be involved, and that's a big problem always, because this means that they stop what they're doing right now, future stuff, DLC stuff, whatever, and they have to stop that and work on the previous version, KCD and KCD2 in that case. So that's why all these huge, bigger changes need to be well considered, because this affects something in the planning somewhere else. So we are taking all those things together, looking first of all how severe is the problem, so how many people do actually have this problem or are commenting or talking about it and so on. We are trying to identify how much benefit current players will have from it. So if we change it, how much will this benefit the players itself? We are also checking how much will this benefit to non-players. So people. So for instance, a photo mode, for instance, right? That is something that we are talking about. So the photo mode that is in game is okay, but it's super basic. But for instance, if we change the photo mode, then I, as part of the market team, can say, hey, that's a great feature, because if we do that, I can use that and lure in more people to play the game, because I can talk about the photo mode and whatnot. So, they have to, or rain, for instance, right? The rain is a cosmetic thing. Some people don't like it because it doesn't look nice, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it's annoying, but is it making the game better? Is this somehow, so we have to be really careful of what we will be addressing and how much, because we can't address them all. It's impossible, and there's so many things people would like, and so many things that we can't change because of some deeper systematic problems or whatnot. So yeah, so we have these but again, this shows you, and I hope the people out there, that we are really going beyond just delivering a product, but that we are releasing it, then checking all the reviews and the feedback, and then trying to think how can we incorporate some of the feedback. And this also leads to the discussions of who is involved into creating Kingdom Come Deliverance generally, or who has a saying what goes and goes not into the game. It's 99.9% us and 0.1% the community, because they give us the feedback and we then try to fine tune it to the liking of us, the community.
Well, at the end of the day, it's your game, right?
Yeah.
I think that as it stands, even without the updates, I think that KCD2 is so well bloody optimized. I haven't noticed any massive game-breaking bugs, apart from falling through a rock every now and again. But that only happened very early on. I think that's been completely patched since.
These bugs are more slapsticky. The worst bugs are the ones that are really cutting you off the game, or the game crashes, or are super annoying, that make you angry, rage quit the game. That is something that is really dangerous for the product, for the studio, for everyone, and is super annoying. So those are the ones that need to be focused on most, but luckily those are not so present in KCD2. So again, good work, and knocking on wood here, good work, programming team and QA team and scripting team, and they really put much work into it. And again, the fact that we were able to very early identify what should go into the game, and not we were scratching ideas like Bard minigame and whatnot very early in 2020. So they were this is all we want to do, let's do it. And very early, as you can see, 5 years before release, we were already saying, hey, listen, we shouldn't this, we shouldn't that, we shouldn't that, because again, the idea was KCD plus 25%. So we said, okay, gone. And it grew anyway to double the size, but at least we were super focused on the things that we have on plan. And this all led to the fact that we were able to send a review. We were able to give you and Kuttenberg, there was 7 months before release or something like that, or 8 months before release, we let you play 4 hours or something in that. Yeah.
You gave it to us to play for, I think it was 2 hours of the open world, and then you were taking it away from you for 7 months. And that was the hardest part
but
for
I
me.
mean, on that day, we let you play, I think it was for 4 hours or 5 hours, something like
It was
that.
4.
And
There
we
was
let
2.
you play, I think, the beginning, 3 hours of the beginning, as far as you get. And then 1 hour of late game Kuttenberg. And Kuttenberg, as you know, is there's hundreds of NPCs, and there's that's a stress test. Kuttenberg is the stress, this is the Rotai of KCD2, the stress test part, and we were able to show you already on that day, 8 months before release. And we didn't, and it was the current state of development. It wasn't just some made up build that is scratched and that is different. If something, then the game is now way better than what you saw in July or whenever that was. So we didn't mask everything or prepared a special build that you can put next to each other and say, hey, there's much less characters than what we saw, or something like that.
Those PCs that we played on, though, were absolute beasts, and you didn't. So the game ran. I get it. You want to show the best.
Well, that is of course what you do. That
I know.
If a car manufacturer shows you his or her new car, then he will show you the best of the best, of course, and it's some wooden whatever wheelbarrow. So on a positive note, for instance, I think when we did the PC specs, the list of the the minimum specs, we were testing it on something, and now looking back to it, we overshot way too high because everyone is, or the feedback is very often from the community that they can play it on their toaster PCs and smart fridges.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah.
we should probably revisit those PC specs and re-release them because you can really play it on a absolutely medium PC, like like regular Joe PC can run KCD2. So
Yeah.
again, it's a bit of a miracle. I have no idea how we did that, but
No.
programmers probably burnt KCD1 in some black ritual, and then this happened.
Would you be able to? Because I was asked before, and I got a couple of questions. I was asked about maybe could you bring some of these things you've learned and do a remaster, maybe not remaster, but kind of add that kind of stuff to KCD1, so Ratai would run at a playable frame rate.
Mm.
I always make fun of Ratai, it's fine. And
Yeah.
no, I think that could be. I mean, if the game's got this as much success as it has now, people probably want to go back and play the first one. And having tested both, Kingdom Come 1 runs worse than KCD2, which is
Mhm.
baffling to me, like with the size and
Yeah,
the.
but it was also our first game, and we had to
Yeah,
do a lot of trial and error, and
yeah,
we put a ton of features in there and run out of time to test them properly. So instead of like quality, we tried quantity there because we were this new weird studio from Daniel Barbara's garage and like putting a game together with chewing gum and whatnot. So there was on paper, unfortunately, many of the features looked way nicer than they did in the game, or run better on paper than they did in the game. But as of now, honestly, we are not planning to go back to KCD1 in any form of shape. Of course, uh, community hardcore fans would love that. Absolutely, I'm absolutely aware of that. But in all honesty, I don't see, unless someone is coming like Saber Interactive back in the days came to, hey, let's do the Switch version thing, port or whatever. Unless someone like that is coming to us actively, then I really don't see Warhorse doing, because we are we are right now 250 people, and all of those people are either bug fixing the game or working on the DLCs of all of them at once. The first one will be rather smaller than the other ones because it's the first one, and the last one again will be probably the bigger one. And so they're working on that. And after that, our ambition is to grow further, so become a studio of 300 heads and more, and maybe in the future also work on several titles at once, not only be a one-trick pony. But that is
well,
all
yeah.
future stuff. And we
What?
want to,
Yeah,
for us in an ideal world, by the end of the year, we kind of leave KCD2 and focus completely on new stuff, new
well, yeah,
games.
because of course you'll be leaving the game to modders, which is I think a great
Mhm.
thing. You're bringing
That's
modding
also
tools.
happening next week, I think.
Yes, which
Hmm.
is crazy. So, of course, as I've said before, the Bethesda games really were helped by their and modding communities. So, I think this is a fantastic step forward, and we will continue having KCD2 content until the other games you're working on.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main question, KCD3. That's that's obviously you're going to be asked about that a lot. I get it. But what in terms of what other games would you be willing to do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask that. You know, we have Daniel Vavra as the creative director, but as I
Yeah,
said, we want to grow further. So I can imagine a world where we'll be kind of splitting the team or something, and one team does this, another. But this is just me having these crazy ideas. But I don't know, really. I think we established ourselves as being good RPG guys
yeah,
with two great RPGs, and I don't think that we will go somewhere else, that we
yeah,
will start to do racing games all of a sudden. But I also don't think. I think KCD is a strong and great IP,
yeah.
absolutely, and I think it would be a shame to stop and do like like leave it behind. On the other hand, I mean, this can happen. We can do something else, like create a new IP. As I said, we want to do several games anyway. So also CD Projekt had The Witcher, but at some point they said, let's try something futuristic, and it was a hit.
Yeah.
So I think CD Projekt is a bit of a like role model in that sense when it comes to like what they how they spread themselves out and what I think it's very interesting what they did, and I can imagine that we would like to go a similar way somehow. Not saying that we're doing something futuristic, but like having like these different types, and they're both relatively similar. Of course, the one is more like a GTA style, the other one is like a deeper RPG, but they're still kind of relatively close to each other. So
I have heard like rumors about possibly what if you guys did Lord of the Rings, seeing as Monolith recently closed down. You guys could do a Lord of the Rings RPG. I think Embracer doesn't Embracer own that IP?
I'm not quite sure, but it might. I mean, they own quite a lot of IPs. I think they also own Tomb Raider, but I'm not kind of sure about that. Do you know the Settlers of Catan? Apparently, somehow the board game. Apparently, they also. I think they also own that as well. I'm a huge Catan fan, so I want I want to do a Catan game. The first person Settlers of Catan game.
Will it be called Getting Wood? Because that's the main thing you do on it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting wood with a sheep.
Oh no! Didn't know the game was set in Wales. So obviously, one of the big things people have been talking about: cathedrals, churches. We've already discussed this on the channel and from your previous live stream that you guys kind of were like, well, there's no story stuff taking place here.
Yeah, but honestly, we know it's a shame, and it pains us as well. All these decisions to not include something led to the fact that we have the game we have right now.
I was kind of disappointed to see that St. Barbara's Cathedral is under construction. I was like, oh.
Only Barbara's butt was built by that time.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, damn it, because I wanted to step inside where I'd stepped inside in real life. Yeah. So I used the camera mod that allows you to have it like 20 times distance, which is amazing for like looking around the world and stuff. But I guess
and cheating.
No, what cheating? I don't cheat. Yeah. Only slightly.
You said it several times in your videos, and I watch all your videos. So the modding for KCD1 was too complicated and way too late.
Yeah.
And that's a fact because, in all honesty, we did never. When we created the game KCD1, we had to be extremely careful what to do and how to do it and where to put the resources. For instance, Czech voiceovers were something the people here in Czech Republic hated that we didn't have them, but we just couldn't invest the money into it because the money that we save on that can go into an extra program or something like that, right? So the game was never ready for modding. And was never developed with modding in mind. The modding thing came on later, and then we had to put some programmers aside and prepare the engine and the game for modding and do some heavy tweaking. And still, even when the modding was ready, it was difficult or not so easy to mod the game. Like installing the mod was relatively easy with Nexus. But still you had to do some manual work there. But like modding itself was kind of complicated and you had to already have some knowledge. This time around, we had modding in mind. We even thought before, while discussing the game, how deep we want to go with the modding. And in general, the studio has a lot of Procop, for instance, is a big fan of modding, so he wanted to have this as sophisticated as possible. And I think we have quite a good compromise now, having it way stronger than it was in the first game, more accessible, and with the Steam Workshop, it's just like one click away every mod. So that is cool. The only sad part is again that mods will not appear on console, but that is unfortunately for us a given.
Yeah, like I'm glad you said that because that was like the most commented thing about KCD1 is our mods coming to console. It was just like no, they're not. Please stop asking me for the 9 millionth time. So a question about you're adding horse racing is going to be a thing that's coming to the game. Do you know if we're going to be stuck with the horse that we own? So probably Pebbles, because Pebbles' best horse. Will we be able to maybe rent horses for the races?
Think we haven't fleshed it out yet
Okay,
completely, but let's talk about that when we are closer to it.
that's
The
fair.
horse races are coming later. First we have the barber, then we have the
Ooh,
hardcore mode, and then we have the horse racing.
yeah.
But I was talking to Prokop, who approached me actually saying that he likes the horse racing so much that he would like to do some marketing, something around it. By that he meant streams and like push it, and we should talk
Yeah.
about it more because he is a big fan of it, which gives you already some, yeah,
Oh, okay. So it's
maybe
going to be
some
pretty
hope that
fleshed out.
it could be actually quite cool.
Yeah.
Why the barber is rather a small change. It's just some extra cosmetics in a way. It's funny. I still like the mullet guy, business on the front, party at the
Party in the
back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, and the horse racing thing should be much bigger. The hardcore mode anyway. It's changing the entire game in a way. So the other free LCs, how we
Yeah.
call them, are bigger.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah, super excited about
It
that.
gives you charisma boost. No one really knows how charisma works, but it's good, so get it.
Well, even you guys. You're just like,
Well,
"Mm, I don't
there's
know.
some calculations in the back no one understands. So the only thing that is important, charisma is good. So if you're charismatic, you get what you want.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I want longer hair. Like there's two hairstyles at the end of the
Oh yeah,
list.
the
That
wavy one,
yeah, the
the
wavy one. I like
Lord.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Henry looks really good with long hair, but you should have like a long one and maybe a pony. Anyway,
I want. I hope one of the hopes I have is that because I'm an XCOM 2 player, if you know
yeah,
that game, I love
yeah,
that a
yeah,
lot, and I always download the extra camouflage pads and the extra flags and the
yeah,
extra names so that you have a more variety in like who your soldiers are and whatnot. And so I also kind of hope that the modders are adding extra haircuts, extra beards. Like we are giving them here's something, and then if you want, try and get crazy with it.
yeah,
And I'm 99% sure that we will see, for instance, Dry Devil's haircut and so on Henry because they're already exchanging. There are mods already where you can exchange Henry's face for someone else. So I'm sure that they might add some extra haircuts to the roster. Tomorrow, actually, I'm invited to Malashov, which is one of the forts in the game, but it's a real life location. There's a brewery there, very nice people, and together with them, we are working on something we call KCD Live, which is something like a like ex- extended KCD experience or real life experience in a way. So, and that is something that is really rare, not only in Czech Republic, but I think also in the world. So there's different cities, different organizations, even the politicians. They're getting together there to create this one project where the different cities will introduce themselves. They will offer guided tours to gamers. There will be an escape game in like this, fancy thing in Malashov itself. They want to offer like on the steps of Henry, like a guided tour where he could have walked by in the real region of Kutna Hora. They are making a. They are right now working on a what do you call that? On a hiking trail between Malashov and Kutna Hora as well, with like information, texts, and everything about the game and QR codes. And if you scan it, you can like play something like geocaching in a way.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and this is happening. I'm not saying outside of the studio because we are involved in that, of course, but this is like the region and the different organizations and politics and whatnot from Czech Republic and those locations
yeah,
are seeing KCD as a huge cultural export and a
yeah,
huge identification thing for the Czech people. And they are, of course, trying to offer something to the local fans, but are also prepared for, and when the Germans come, then we will have here, everything will be translated, and then the English will fly over as well, and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's really cute and great and amazing to see because I still think that video games are still not mainstream. They are almost, but still
yeah,
not completely.
yeah. I get
And
what you
this is
mean.
again one step further to breach, at least here in our region, to breach this bubble of video games are for basement nerds. But no, video games can be more than that. They can
Yeah,
be, they can tell great stories. They can be history lessons, or like have interesting topics to, or mottos, or life changing whatever things, right?
Yeah, like I think it works, and the Assassin's Creed, the later games, have
Hmm.
historical modes, and those are
Hmm.
now apparently being shown in schools and stuff because they're so accurate. Which is
I was approached today by the Olomouc is one of a big city in the east of Czech Republic, but they have the third biggest university here in Czech Republic, and they approached us today, and I was in discussions with them, and they asked us if we can come over to have some presentations about the Middle Ages in audiovisual, like how the Middle Ages are represented in audiovisual entertainment products
yeah,
and so on, talking about the combat, talking about our research and so on. And if KCD really becomes a hit, then it could help boost the entire region here, like maybe motivate new developers to open their studios, maybe generally inspire young kids to go into development. Maybe it inspires the politicians to think more about video gaming as an industry that is interesting to support or whatever.
yeah.
So if we can do that, if the game does that, this would be great, of course.
Oh, incredible, yeah. And talking about like events and stuff, like are you guys planning anything? There's I think one happening in June,
Hmm.
where it's like a archery tournament that's happening in
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Ratai, I think Ratai.
We as a studio, we want to go to Comic Con Prague, which is next month. We want to do an event in Kutna Hora that is called Silver Ring, which is something like I don't want to exaggerate, but it's a huge ass cosplay event in a way. But everyone is in medieval stuff. Like you're only allowed to have a medieval tent and booth. Everyone is wearing like this medieval clothes and armor and whatnot. So the entire city is like dressing in. There's like the horse riders and knight fights and what, like a big fair, but they're trying to be accurate in it. So that's
Yeah,
cool. So that is something where we will just be part of and just wave and shake hands and whatnot.
yeah,
And we are, I would actually like to this year organize a proper official Warhorse Studios or KCD fan fest in September. And actually, this weekend I'm driving to Malashov because of that KCD live thing, and together
yeah.
with them, I would like to really rent the entire area of Malashov. They have a brewery, they have sports areas where you can do sword fighting or whatever, or have presentations there. We can have music there. We can have a huge Farkle tournament. I don't know. There can be
Yeah,
roasted pork. I don't know, like all like
yeah,
medieval KCD. We could fly in eventually Tom and Luke and so on. So this could be like really big.
yeah,
Um, but this is in its early day, like in
yeah.
its super
Fingers,
early days.
fingers crossed.
It would be,
Obviously,
yeah, so it would be early September somewhere in at Malashov, which is the fortification from the game.
that is amazing. I want to come. So just so throw that out
Yep,
there.
you're more than welcome to
Thank you.
to join us, and yeah, it could be I would love to make it an international thing, so that would be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
You could say something on stage as the
Oh,
voice
could
of
I?
the voice of the community.
Oh, that actually that would be amazing. I wouldn't mind doing a little speech. That last time they at Warhorse asked me to do a speech was at the August event,
Mhm.
and we were very drunk, and they were like speech, speech, and I just stood there being like So I need to redeem myself for that because that was
But
awful.
let me tell you one thing. So this Saturday, the Malashov guys that are doing this KCD live things, they have their own kind of event going on this Saturday, and they expect 1,000 people there. So if we do an event in Malashov, I think we'll have at least double the size. So, in other words, would you speak in front of 2,000 people?
Yes. I, I,
Speech, speech,
yeah.
speech, speech.
I'd have to prepare something first. I think I
Yeah.
could do it because I think the main thing I took away from the August event was everyone was so nice and everyone was there for the same reason. There was no judgment. There was no it was just everyone was there to have fun. And I think I felt so comfortable at that event
The only thing you did at the event was either drinking with the Warhorse people or playing dice. That's the two things I saw you doing. They were like, we offered like 10 different, like, you could sword fight, there
Ah,
you could do your own coin or whatever, and
I
you were
made a
like
coin.
constantly playing dice.
I made a
Huh?
coin. I made a groschen. Remember, did it with
Oh
you
yeah,
because
yeah,
I wore that jacket.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah. You
that.
had the hat, yeah.
The hat. But yes,
It was last second because it was, I think it was over already, and I forced you to go there. Something like
yes.
this, I think.
Look, it was. They kept offering me drinks and new
Yeah,
people
we had
kept.
the potions there.
Yeah, the
Oh, that was an
potions.
amazing day. We should repeat that. That was an amazing.
It
Oh, that
was.
was, by the way, organized as the drinks and all the catering, everything. This part was done by the Malashov guys. So the ones where
Oh,
we want to do the fan fest. So expect potions. They
okay.
were good though,
They
right?
were amazing. Yeah, they were a ton of fun. And like the just it was so nice to sit there and then people would come over and challenge me because like it was so. I think the craziest part for me was the fact that all the Warhorse people knew who I was. So it was
Absolutely
odd.
everyone. Yeah.
It was just weird because they'd come over to me and be like, I want to challenge you to Farkle. And I'd be like, okay. So that's why I was there for so long. And yes, I was very drunk too. But it was, like, yeah, I would love to do something with you guys for the
Yeah.
event if it
Sure.
does take place.
Have you shot the crossbow at least there, or?
I didn't get round to doing any weapons. No,
We had like this rule, like, hey guys, and there will be alcohol there, and you need to be careful not to give the crossbow. They're like, oh sure, and then it worked like 5 minutes, and everyone's like, he's just the right amount of drunk to use the crossbow, so please don't shoot anyone. That would
it
be
was
bad
it
PR.
was a safety nightmare. No one got killed, so it's all good.
No one.
Yeah, apart from maimed. I have a question actually about the houses. One thing I've noticed in KCD2, and someone else brought it up in my comments, was if there's an NPC that you need to talk to and they're inside a house, it's really awkward to kind of break into their house to go up to them and be like, they start saying, "What are you doing in here? Get out!" And then you press A on them, and they're like, "Oh, it's lovely to see you."
That is that's a very good question actually, and the reason or the problem or the struggle is when open world or sandbox meets story-driven RPG. We could have solved this problem with extra dialogue and extra situations and extra scripting that if you get in, they will kick you out no matter what, saying, I will not talk to you or whatever. And again, it was on the balance of if we do that, then we have to scratch something else.
So the person made a really good point and said, "Why can't you add a knock feature? Knock on the door."
Then what?
What? That what do you mean then what? If
You
someone
knock on the
knocks on
door and
your
then what?
door,
Someone
what do
comes down and says, hello, what do you want? And you say,
no, you mean
sorry,
that you then
prank, and then you're running away.
that could be useful because if there is an NPC that you need to talk to and you go up to the door, give it a knock, they'll come to the door to inspect the knock noise.
What if there's several people in there and someone else goes to the
What?
door?
You keep knocking until you get the
into
right.
his head. In theory, this
Yeah.
sounds like an easy fix, but it's not. There's several.
does.
There could be several people in there. What you need to write extra dialogue. Hey, I want to talk to XYZ, which means again, Henry, instead of 40,000 lines, which he has right now, he would have to have, I don't know, 50,000 lines or whatever.
Yeah.
So for every single building, for every single quest or whatever. So I don't know.
I had a bug happen in one of the Kutnohora map towns. I can't remember the name of the town. I had to speak to someone to get them out of the house. And I looked through the window, and there were like 15 people just stood in this house, right? So I was like, well, the guy's in there, but it's nighttime now. So I waited, nothing. And so I started pelting rocks through the window to hit them in the head. And they'd slowly start coming out. So, I mean, the system kind of works already. But Yeah, it's. I guess I
It's
get
like
that it's
this
awkward.
no, they're like upside down zombies because in
Yeah,
most zombie movies, they're during the day they're standing somewhere in the dark and sleeping standing, right?
yeah.
So it's like
Oh,
just a zombie thing, kind
it
of.
is a zombie thing. So another fan request, which makes sense, is could we please have it when in alchemy you've made your potion, right? And Henry finishes making the potion, and
Hmm.
you then have to look left to grab the vial, right? But
Hmm.
he does this automatic head movement where it will look at the vial and then look down at the oh god, the bottle one.
Distillery thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you just make it so he just looks straight at the vial? That would save so much time.
Okay, I will let the people know.
Right.
Never heard of that problem.
No, no, it is. It is. If you do alchemy, you know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. He has this kind of like because his head moves automatically. You're not in control at that moment. And he will look at the vial, and you're like, "Oh, he's looking at the vial. Press A." And then he will look down at the other thing, and it's just like, "No, not that." It's like
And then like moving upwards is the the 1.5 seconds too much,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just
Oh yeah, that's a real
it,
world problem. Yeah,
I know. It's a real problem. Look, it's 1 millisecond of my life, but it still adds up.
this would make some people happy, but it's like it's not an integral part that is breaking the game somewhere, and that would
Yeah.
make the game a better thing because it's pissing off someone. This is a bit annoying, but it's just annoying. Like ugly rain is annoying.
Talking about rain, actually, why isn't it when it pisses it down in the game? Why can't it clean Henry?
I don't know. Oh yeah, maybe I do know because my guess would be that we are not at least not at the moment that we are not but maybe I'm lying here that we are not able to detect if you are being touched by the rain or not. So if it rains is like a state raining and that no matter where you are in the building or outside or whatever, that maybe the game or the program or whatever doesn't recognize that Henry is standing in the rain. And if you're standing under a roof, then you would not be cleaned. But if you're standing outside, you would be clean. So the game would have to check where you are standing right now, which would drain performance for sure. And I think it's an over complicated system for what it does.
What are your plans next? Because you personally, are you
I'm
staying with Warhorse? Are you?
Thailand vacation. So I
Yeah.
booked with my partner a great vacation in Thailand. So we are going there next, and by the end of April for 2 weeks. 5-star hotel, Thai food. I think that's not what you wanted to know, right?
Well, it's very nice. Well done. No, I mean,
Yeah.
you deserve you deserve a holiday. Like fair. No, I meant in terms of like, are you staying with Warhorse, or are you
Me?
moving on to
Oh,
something
that you
else?
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I sit in a very comfortable nest at Warhorse Studios. I love
Okay.
my job. I love
Good.
my colleagues. I hope they like me. I have quite some power or saying in the studio, which is nice as well. That is feels good if you can change stuff and have influence on stuff. And on the other hand, I don't really want to completely say that I'm limiting myself to something, but in all honesty, it would have to be like a really super ridiculous offer that would make me move or change. As long as I'm young enough to be the cool guy on the internet, then
I think you ruined it when you did that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long I will be accepted among the devs and among the community. So let's see.
No, you're fine. I think you're all good. I know I'm glad because obviously you're the main one I speak to, apart from Christian. Maybe you're the main one I speak to at Warhorse. So it would be sad if you left.
I need to frame it differently because if any of my bosses is watching, I need to say something like, "Hey,
Okay.
I'm totally having offers, and now I'm considering, and yeah, so maybe they will
Yeah.
give me more money." Or something.
I heard that you've been offered some really expensive like jobs. So like,
Oh
maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe to stay, you need a pay rise.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
probably
Mhm.
really big one. But I'm going to be interviewing Tom and Luke Dale next week.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm going to try and get them to sing the Henry song.
By the way, now that we are talking, your singing voice, oh my God, that was pretty good. Like for real. Like it was so good that again my partner looked through the door and said like that was pretty good. And I said, yeah, right. So she wasn't with me in the room, but she heard
Oh,
it and she said
okay.
like that was pretty good. And she who knows who you are. Of course, everyone does.
Oh,
So
well, that's
so
really nice of you. I
now
didn't
there's
think
some
it.
pressure to perform.
You're gonna September. I'm going on stage. Yeah. No. That's really nice of you to say. Look, I used to do choir when I was at school, and
So did
then
I. One wouldn't believe that, but I did that for 2 years or so, I think. One
oh
year,
wow.
maybe 1 year or two, I can't remember anymore. I had one show. I was put in the furthest corner in the back.
Oh,
It was great.
I used to have the highest pitched voice, and then puberty hit, which you know, sucks. So, but I never really thought about it. I think I'm good at imitating. Like, I think that's where my strength lies. Like, I can imitate the intro to Kingdom Come 1. I can imitate
Mhm,
his tone. So I think I was
mhm,
imitating the song. I don't know if I can actually
mhm.
sing.
I don't
We'll
know. I
see.
just
All
from
right.
from the short teaser you did, it was great. I liked it.
Thank you.
But you know what now that you're saying about imitating, you know who I
Yeah.
miss and I haven't seen for way too long? Boris the elephant.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
happened to Boris?
Well, yeah, there he is. You're right, buddy. Okay. No, he's okay. All right. You want to? Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks. No, he hangs around.
Yeah,
He
Boris.
hangs around. Hi. Yeah,
I,
he
I, I
hangs
love
around.
Boris. Can you remember the time travel video we did for KCD1? The
Yes.
KCD 1403, this helmet thing.
And here we are at our destination, medieval Bohemia.
And there
Yeah.
was a telephone number in the ad. Order now, and you get this wonderful hat or whatever. And if you called that number,
Yeah.
it was a number in the studio where we had how do you call that system that when you're not picking up the phone, it answers for you,
Answer machine.
answering machine.
Yeah.
So there was an answering machine. Hey, thank you for calling, and we will get you right away, or something like that. So there was also this like meta joke that if you actually would call there, that it would arrive some, you
Oh,
would
that's
arrive to
so
some.
cool. I
I'm
never
not. I'm
realized.
99% sure that this doesn't work anymore, but it
No.
did when we released. It was quite funny.
Yeah. No, I love that. That trailer. The amount of people that are fans that haven't seen that trailer. Like, I showed it to Botanical Lucy, another member of the community, recently, and
Hmm.
she'd never
Hmm.
heard of it. Like, it
Hmm.
came out of nowhere and is so random in comparison to everything else.
And this was on purpose. It was on purpose that it was random and super difficult to snap you out of this regular thing. This time around, we did the same thing with the live action trailers. So the live action trailers were supposed to be completely different to everything else that we released, but not so much. It was close to KCD. The humor was there, everything was there, but they were so different from the regular. This is a new trailer kind of thing that that was our new kind of new time travel video in a way. And fun fact, in the studio, the higher ups and many of the people in the studio were not big fans of that video. When we my colleague Vitek Michke, he was the main like organizer and planner and whatever. I helped in the very beginning to come up, hey, it would be good if we have like this live action series, and together we came up, hey, what if we do it like this, and then he completely did it on his own with the actors and whatnot. And the first episode was supposed to be longer and everything, but it's always the first cut is also super long, always super long, and then you have to make it more crisp and to make the jokes better and whatnot. And the fun fact is that many in the studio said, "Oh, that's super cringy. Oh, terrible." And they called it bad names and whatnot, and they were like playing it down and so on. And we're like, and I was then talking So I'm the lead of the communications department. So I was sitting there with all the other leads and saying, "Hey, listen, stop calling it like that. Stop saying what you're saying right now. I'm 99% convinced that this is the humor that will hit with the people. Of course, it's a little bit cringy, but it's a kind of just about right cringe for being a funny video for our community. This is not supposed to win a comedy award. This is supposed to make our fans happy, and this will make them happy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love the
So,
joke in
yeah.
was it the crossbow when they're doing the combat training? And
Yep.
they've been walking so long they've grown beards because obviously
Yes.
it was filmed
Yes.
way later.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
That's so neat.
I laugh in the fourth episode where Henry is saying, "And you know what? I was never hungry." Yeah.
Yes. Great. Loved it.
In July, I already knew when we were, or August or whenever it was when we showed you the game.
Yeah.
I was already convinced that we have a great game.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I got started to be super confident was 10th of 10th of January, where the first impressions came in. Because then this was the first moment we said, "Oh, wait a moment. The people actually do say great stuff."
It's probably near 3 million units right now.
We are working towards the 3 million now. So
Yeah.
the 2 million 1 million was hit in under 24 hours. I think in KCD1 it was 1 million in a week and the second million in a year,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was a slow burn.
And now we have, that was still an amazing, it was like mind blowing. We thought that we will hit the million within the first year and not in the first week or month or something like that. And in KCD2, we hit it in less than 24 hours. I think it was like 20 hours or something like that. And the second million was within the first week. Was it? No, 2 weeks. Within the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now we are expecting we are now somewhere between 2 and 3, and we are hoping that we will hit the 3 million soon.
I will say I was very disappointed that I wasn't in the accolades proved. That accolades.
You have good friends in Play on UK. You should address them.
Yeah. What the hell, Play On? Why wasn't my name in there? Henry's very biscuity or something. I don't know. Just put something in there. Have me in the background or something.
In KCD1, there's an accolade for user scores, which you are not giving a user score, so of course you're not in there. But
yeah, I remember the trailer.
In KCD1, I think the Royal Edition trailer, it was the Royal Edition trailer, had Steam reviews and community reviews in there. The ones that actually are important. Press is cool, but at the end of the day, the players are more important. So what I'm trying to say, Roxy, there is chance that if we do any Royal Edition, whatever kind of thing,
just release a Game of the Year edition, just so I can have my name in the trailer. Please.
You need to come up with a good quote then.
I mean, I've talked to you about this before, and obviously it would be amazing to be in the game, but I understand that it's not always possible. I still think that they should have, even if it's just a line of dialogue for both of us playing Farkle. I think just add 2 Farkle players in.
Like an unreachable table. You know how there's like this first soft water and then hard water, where Henry's just not going further. There should be just a table where you are sitting and like, "Hey, come Farkle with me. Come on. You just can't reach the table. You just can't. It's like,
that would be evil and amazing.
You asked me, one of the questions back in the times, you were asking me like if there's any Easter egg that wasn't found. And I never
Yes.
I don't know because there's no list of Easter eggs, and there's still not a list of Easter eggs. But I'm very happy that in KCD2 there's so many Easter eggs popping up left and right, and that the people are generally very happy about it. Do you have any favorite?
Oh, I thought you were going to finally reveal that last secret. Oh
no, sorry.
No, it's fine. It will be forever a question.
Yeah.
My favorite one so far, the UFO. Or the Mexican mummified...
The Mexican aliens.
Yeah.
There's Puss in Boots in outside Kuttenberg.
Yeah.
There's in one of the gardens, there's a Quidditch set. So you can find a chest with Quidditch balls and 7 brooms or 8 brooms or whatever.
That's cool.
There is the dinosaurs, the famous dinosaurs, which Daniel Vavra found out, and he hates them, and he wants to patch them out.
Wait, he didn't know?
No, and that's the point. That's what I'm trying to tell you about KCD1. Everyone and his neighbor is adding Easter eggs left and right, and they're giggling about it because they know, but they don't tell the others. And then we have a game that is riddled with Easter eggs everywhere. And so even now in KCD2, there's tons of them, which I am finding out by looking at community stuff. So
Okay, so there is a line of dialogue, which I could be wrong, but I think it's referencing me. There's one of the guards at Sigismund's camp. You go up to him and he says, "Oh, you mess around with me and I'll kick you back to Kingdom Come, Deliverance." And while that is a good Easter egg, that's a good joke towards the name of the game and him having to say Deliverance after. That's exactly how I intro my videos.
Try and figure out. I don't know, but I find that line also extremely funny.
Yes,
honestly,
it's great.
Because also the way how this guard says it,
Yeah,
I will kick you right into Kingdom Come. Deliverance.
Yeah, right. No, like I was told that there was a B area made for me.
I never thought of that actually, Roxy.
About
now that
the-
you're saying it,
You hear it, right?
yeah.
Hiya, sexy biscuits, and welcome back into Kingdom Come, Deliverance. Yeah, see? Right?
That is. We might have a hot lead here.
We might. And I think I found an area of beehives that was made for me. And I think that's the only thing. Because I was told by multiple people at Warhorse that there were a few Easter eggs for my channel, which, mind-blowing. Apparently, though, I've reached out to quite a few people over at Warhorse. There seems to be mixed messaging. Either they just weren't ever done, or they were cut, or something. So now I'm like, oh. Because, like,
well, that's the problem, and there's no list of like this is the official list of Easter eggs, and we will add them to the game. So that's not existing. So everyone is doing what they think is funny, and there's also a vampire under Kuttenberg and whatnot. So and the dev room, the development room of Warhorse or whatever under Kuttenberg.
Seen that. Yeah.
So it could be a thing that someone added something, and I just don't know about it, and that is, I guess, fine. But what I can say is, and that is all the bigger stuff like face scanning or recording lines and these kind of things, they all had to be scratched again, just to focus on what is like more important, even though it sounds sad. But it's like,
no, get the game done, right? Like I completely 100% understand that. Get the game done first, and then if you have time, whatever. But I'm not expecting it. Like it would be nice to have a character or at least a voice line in the game, because then I will have a legacy. Like I'll be in the game forever, which would be incredible. But I get why that's not possible, and if you guys change your mind, I'm here.
Yeah. have you met me already, beardless, and killed me several times or not?
Yeah. So you're the crier, the town crier in Zelishov.
I'm several guys. I'm no one and everyone in a way, which is kind of sad. I hope that I get at least be some specific character, but they made me vagabonds, bandits, town criers, miners. I'm a bit of everything, but almost always without a beard, which I do recognize myself. My partner recognizes me, but that's it.
I've seen you like in old pictures without the beard, and it is weird. Because like that's kind of your gimmick, right?
It's like makeup for men.
Well, hang on. You shaved your beard, and I was like, "Hang on a minute, are you filming something for?" Was that for that?
Yeah.
Bastard! I bloody knew it. At the time, I think we were going to like WASD or something, and I said to you, "It's a bit weird. You shaved your beard." And you were like, "Oh, I just wanted to change," and I was like, "There's something else going on that you."
Yeah. Gotcha. No.
Yeah, all right. Also, your girlfriend, isn't she called Teresa? Well, I find that funny.
Yep. And she, you know what's funny? She's playing the game right now, right?
Yeah.
So we are playing it together on a PlayStation, and the way how I am playing is like I am supposed to sit on the sofa, watch her play, shut my mouth, do not recommend anything, do not say anything, and just watch her play. And it's like,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, she has this like adventure gene in her, so she wanna like discover everything and look every corner and oh look, there's a sack of apples, let's open it up and whatnot. So I'm sitting there and it's like, can you at least play a quest, please? Something like go to the, how about we play a main quest? No, we have to first like here find the poachers in the forest. Like it's not even a, well, it is a quest, but
Yeah.
can we please? Because I know that the next main quest will be like super bombastic. It's like, yeah, just go there, please.
I get you 100%. The amount of people that I made play Kingdom Come 1, and then they'd be like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll just do it myself. And I'd be like, no, but you in Skalitz, you get all the herbs. You need to go to the lockpick. You need to let him know, Fritz know. And it was a whole thing. And it was so hard not to be a backseat gamer. The thing is, I always tell people about KCD because it's like such. KCD 1 was kind of a bit of a cult classic, I would say. It wasn't mainstream, right?
Exactly. Absolutely agree with you. And it managed to weirdly, I think it is. I would call it weirdly, but it managed to become a cult classic, an early cult classic. So people, when the game is on sale or something, people are buying it just to have it in their libraries, and they're not even playing it or downloading it, whatever. They're just like, oh look, it's $5, so I will buy it, and that is, you do this with like classics, right? Oh, there's Fallout New Vegas, or I don't know, some like.
Yeah, I got. I don't know. I'm gonna show you that, Toby. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, look, cute.
Jan Volter and Martin Klima.
Martin Klima. Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was at the. He ended up showing up at the event.
I was so in the like in the tunnel in the focus that for me it was really hard to like not enjoy the moment. Maybe enjoy the moment. Maybe that is the right word. I was so under pressure to.
You were so stressed.
To function. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, stress is not. Well, I don't think that stress is the right word. I was so in the mode, like right in the like performance mode. That was like.
Get things done.
Like,
do this.
I know that Martin Klima was there, but as if he was like some background noise.
He was only there for about 20 minutes, I think, because he turned up at the silver castle, where they did the silver. Money. Yeah, he turned up there when we were all eating ice creams outside, and I saw him. And I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to him. So, I got that from him, which was very nice.
In the evening as well. I think he brought some of the studio people, right? Or something.
Yeah, he brought a couple. He brought that woman who was in the live action, with the one that Hans flirts with and then almost gets shot.
Yeah, Anna. Yeah. She's our lead character artist.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like it's just... all the people there were so nice. It was just lovely. I want to experience
you know what I like a lot, that what you said earlier. I think that is what I think that is what I think defines the real KCD community, not the haters and idiots that turned up before the release of KCD, and the same people or people like that turned up also before the release of KCD 1. So those are always a nuisance for a few days and then they disappear again. But the real community and everyone, what you said earlier was quite nice when you were saying that at the Kuttenberg event you felt like that you are among equals and that no one was judging, that they were all super friendly and like wanted to push forward and like yay. And I feel like this is really happening in the KCD community as well, that we have absolutely majority of people that love to nerd about historical facts and try to help each other and so on. So I think we can be quite lucky generally to have such a welcoming and nice community that when we are doing an event, people are storming the gates. When Luke Dale is starting to stream, all of a sudden he has 100,000 followers because they're all like, yeah, let's go.
Mad.
And when when KCD2 was announced, then Czech people were like flooding the internet and the YouTubes, going to all the streamers in the world, saying, "Hey, by the way, KCD, and if you ever come to Czech Republic, we will show you around," and so on. So it was really nice and welcoming.
Oh, I've had so many offers from community.
Excuse me,
Not like that.
Roxy, you deviant.
I only did it a couple of times, okay? No. So I had offers about people offering to give me tours and stuff, which was very sweet. But yeah, so like I know exactly what you mean. It is crazy just how lovely most people have been. It's just it's such a great community, and it's only going to get bigger, and like this is only the beginning, really, for you guys, I think.
Even with my blue eye,
With your blue
or violet eye, or green eye.
What? I didn't notice that. What happened there?
I see it myself here in this little video thing, and I needed to drop that so that people are not like writing like he looks weird. I mean, I do look weird, but
You
I
don't
have
look
a
weird.
colored eye as well.
Oh.
I was fighting for KCD2.
Yeah.
Someone
Defending
said,
the honor.
yeah, they said it's an 8 out of 10. I said, wait a moment. Yeah. No, I was playing football and I'm a goalie, so I got hit right in the face with a ball.
Oh no, that's not good. Right, I'm gonna let you go because we have gone where I'm so happy. Thank you for talking with me today. And
No
just do you have anything you want to shout out? Anything personally? Give us a secret announcement.
Unfortunately, there's really no secret announcement. As I said, we are listening to what the people say. Again, that's important, and we are right now considering some of the major changes in the game. Major, not over exaggerating, but like some bigger stuff that needs attention. Again, community grievances, and as we call it. So I think that's a good message generally, that we care a lot for you guys and for the game itself. So trying hard to make it like cool for everyone. Other than that, again, when we announced the game, I think I said this already once to you, that when we announced the game, we were kind of not, because you were over and over and over pushing me or us to say something, because you said, oh, the community will leave and they will all hate you. Well, you didn't say it like that, but it felt like that. And they were like, move on to other shores. And it was like, well, what if she's right?
They did.
But yeah.
A lot of people did, though. I was right. I was just warning you.
But the moment we announced, it exploded, and people were like immediately like a racing car from 0 to 100 in 0.5 seconds. So they were like immediately there. And the fact that we added Kutna Horror again made it like extra special, and yeah. I think all in all, I must say, we had a very successful release for the studio, for the community, for the gamers, for Czech Republic in a way as well. And we are very happy that we can be on a journey and endeavor like that with you guys, and especially with you, Roxy.
Oh, well, thank you.
I saw your worries.
Yeah.
But let me tell you another thing. Everyone in the studio, absolutely everyone knows you. And they do not know most of the other people that are doing videos. So
wow.
I think that is something, that's your bonus you have against all those others, that you are part of Warhorse in a way. So in a way, you are part of Warhorse. So you belong to the team and to the game.
Cool.
So don't worry.
Well, thank you for saying that. When do I start getting paid? Honestly, that means a lot. And I'm super grateful. Yeah, no, that. Yeah, no,
and you will see that you will see in September when you are coming to Prague, not to Prague, to Malešov. If you're coming to that community thing,
I want
that people will shit kittens when they see you. So.
Oh, okay.
Also, because you're much taller than you appear on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sat down right now. I'm 6'4". Yeah, I would say you're like 5'8", 5'9", right?
I don't know. I'm shorter than you.
Sorry. No,
See you
seriously,
on the other
thank you.
side.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I love each and every single one of you. Next week, Luke, Tom. But until next time, that's us out. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.